that the reason why I bring that up is the Dodgers have to either see if they can get closer to the Tanner Scott that we saw last year and the year before that, or they have to accept that just because you gave him $72 million does not mean that he gets the ball in a critical moment in the postseason because you sign him on to be that guy. Like, they have to come to grips with what version of Tanner Scott they're getting right now. And I've said it all year. If you guys have watched this show all year, I said that he was in the zone too much. The walk rate was a career low 6% after being 13% for most of his career. And I've said it all year that he's throwing too many strikes. And when he does that, the stuff is not good enough to get away with mistakes. And the home run to Corbin Carroll, that was a fastball that he left center cut. They wanted it up and away. He should have gone with a slider in that situation, like he said after the game, especially in a 1-1 count when he represents the tying run. And on that pitch, if it's a slider, either he takes it and it's a ball, either he fouls it off in the second strike. He's probably not getting a home run off of it, right? So it's like, I think that they need to pitch exactly the way you did with the Padres in the Marlins. And that is off the plate, using that deception. I mean, think about this. And that was his 8th blown lead, 8th blown save. That's one shy of the league lead. Imagine that you make a guy the highest paid at what he does, and the thing he's supposed to do, he's one of the worst at it in the sport. And let's just be honest, that's kind of like what it is. I mean, 8 blown leads, a 4.44 ERA. That's more than double the 1.75 ERA he had with the Marlins and Padres last year. He had a 1.75 ERA with the Marlins and Padres combined, and that ERA this year is at 4.44. And get this, he's allowed 9 home runs in 113 batters faced this season. 9 home runs against 113 batters faced this season. Last 2 years combined with the Marlins and the Padres, he gave up 6 home runs to 601 batters faced. That is 3 less home runs in 488 batters faced. So the home run ball has hurt him. The velocity was up yesterday, so that's something to build on. But the number one thing for me with Tanner Scott is if he's good and he gives you a stretch where you feel more confident in him, that's great. But don't put him in that spot just because you paid him. Like, it's like when you buy a ticket to a bad movie and you're like, this movie's terrible. It's not what I hoped it would be, but since I paid for it, I'm going to watch it till the end. Like, if they have to leave the movie, then fine. Like, if you have to walk out of the movie, then fine, but don't put yourself in a position where you have to just use him because you paid him. Like, get creative with the bullpen like you did last year if you need to. Use Shohei in his spot. Go to Blake Trinan. Go to Alex Vesia, who we'll get into here. And trust me, I really like Tanner Scott. I told you what he told me the other day, right? I told Tanner Scott, I said, hey, Tanner, Freddie Freeman, I asked Freddie Freeman if he was in a bar fight, which 2 Dodgers would he pick to have his back? And he named you as one. And he stopped in his track, looked behind, and like stared into my deep my soul and goes, of course you did. I'm a psycho bald guy.
Nice.
And then he walked away.
Nice.
So I want that psycho dude on the mound again. Excellent. You know, that he was with the Marlins and the Padres, and I believe in him. I really do. I think the reason I believe in him, and I know that everyone's dogging Tanner Scott today, I'm not selling any shares of my stock. And the reason that is because I think there's a world where from an attack plan, he can get back to the guy that he was if he pitches in the style that he pitched, where he's less in the zone, stop trying to throw strikes, be you. And go out there and be yourself. And I think that version, like this could be the wake-up call that leads to that. So, hey, Tanner Scott, I got your back, and I don't want to see that nightmare scenario. Okay, so next big takeaway, and my next big takeaway is Alex Vesia has continued to grow in this organization. I think this is his best year from start to finish, has dealt with the injury. Obliques can get tricky, but this feels to me like it was a way to get him some rest, get him at 100%. He's going to be pivotal down the stretch. My next big takeaway is that Alex Vesia is going to be just fine, and he's going to be a massive part of why this team has another deep run in the postseason. And our guy, Noel Sanchez, he met up with Alex Vesia at the launch of his new beer. And here's what he told him.
Talking about clicking, you see the pitchers coming back, you see the bullpen guys coming back, seeing how they're performing and how healthy everybody is getting. How excited are you specifically for this last month of the regular season?
Yeah, the last month is definitely it's where we get our burst of energy, right? That's where we have the I call it like a tune-up games, right? Where we're still we're focused on winning and getting there, and it's definitely going to be a great run. I'm looking forward to it. Obviously, our starting rotation they've been doing very well, going 6-7 innings a night, making it easier on the bullpen. We've got fresh arms and whatnot. We got guys that have come back. Looking forward to getting Michael Kopech back as well. I'll be back in about a week, so everything's working out.
You got that big 5-out save against the Padres a few weeks back. They're a team that's making things interesting in the standings. Just how crucial do you think it would be for you guys to get that 12th division title since 2013 this year?
Yeah. I mean, the Padres, they have a really good team. We always play them very well. You can't take them lightly whatsoever. And our last couple series against them has shown, man, we face them the best, right? That matchup for me is a lot of fun because it is a very good team competing against another very good team, right? You can't downplay it, any more than that. So obviously the goal is to win the division, go on from there, and win one game at a time.
Awesome. And one last question for you, Alex. I know you were telling a lot of different fans when they were asking how you're feeling, that you're feeling good, you're going to be back soon. You and Doc both said that. Just how is the oblique feeling right now? Are you feeling in a good place?
Yeah. Everything's been feeling much better. I'm really glad that I was able to tell them and kind of catch it early. I had some tightness and it was a little bit of a concern, and but voicing my opinion and we were able to give me a couple days off and I can get some treatment and work done on it, and we're doing some strengthening. So I'm still playing catch, and I have a bullpen in a couple days, and we'll throw live, and it's just one day at a time, clicking that off. Good days, and I'm expecting to be back soon.
Well, there we go, Mr. Alex Vesia. Thank you so much for the time. We'll make sure all of Dodgers Nation is coming out to Benny Boy Brewing, getting your new IPA Hazy on tap, and just supporting you guys throughout the entire postseason. Thank you, Alex.
Go get that Hazy IPA. I love the can. We're going to get one for the desk here. Alex Vesia brings it for sure. Nice to see him drinking something other than a Red Bull for once. I mean, okay, you can mix it up. A little Red Bull before the game. IPA to celebrate a win. I love that. And yes, he has pitched a ton. Vesia this season, 52 and a third innings. I mean, you got him and Jack Dreyer and Ben Kasparius really have put this bullpen on their backs this year, but he's been outstanding at 2.75 ERA, 3.03 expected ERA. He's been really, really good. I think last year, he was so good last year. It's tough to top the year he had last year, but I mean, he was great. He was fantastic last year, and he's been really good again this year, and he's going to be huge. I see a comment that they use Alex Vesia like a used 2006 Honda Accord. You know what though? They kind of took them off. They kind of switched cars a little bit for sure. Fools and horses. D-Mac drinking that Roberts Kool-Aid on Tanner Scott. I wouldn't say that. I think that. That's Gary A. said they used and abused Vesia like a 16-year-old Honda. Okay, a 16-year-old. Wait, this is just interesting. This comment got weird. Gio said Dodgers have too many distractions. Beer, pickleball, wineries. Focus on baseball. Damn it. Yeah, I mean that's what people say when they struggle. I mean you gotta take a day off. I was talking to a player and they're like, man, like at some point it hurts you to just do too much, to take too many swings in the cage and things like that. So I don't think that is a reason why they are struggling. But now I want to revisit a little conversation on Andrew Heaney. So that was the news yesterday. Andrew Heaney back with the Dodgers. So next takeaway is Andrew Heaney is going to do something for this team. And even if it doesn't come in the postseason, this is a move on the margins that helps this Dodgers team. So the Dodgers, they brought back Andrew Heaney, and they did it at the last possible time where he could be eligible for the postseason. So he would have to do a lot better on the mound. The numbers, 5.39 ERA, 5.66 expected ERA in 23 games for the Pirates, a 60% strikeout rate. I mean, that's 79th among the 86 pitchers with at least 120 innings. So it doesn't strike out a ton of dudes. In the last couple of months, he's really struggled. He's given up 45 runs in 42 innings, and the strikeout rate has tanked down to 12.1%. But what makes it interesting is that the Pirates moved him to the bullpen a couple weeks ago. And in his 2 relief appearances, they weren't good, gave up 6 runs, got 4 outs, and was released on August 29th. But this is a guy that in the Dodgers system, he's going to be an insurance policy, right? He's the Apple Care. He's the insurance policy if guys go down, you need some depth. But I think where he can really help this team is trying to eat some innings down the stretch. And from what I was told, hey, like, this is not a major move for the Dodgers in any way, shape, or form. They don't think of, he's someone that it could pitch critical innings if Tanner Scott doesn't work out. I've seen that out there. Oh, they brought Andrew Heaney because he's a lefty and Tanner Scott's a lefty and they don't believe in Tanner Scott anymore. No, I mean, he doesn't have the upside stuff that those guys have. He's throwing an 89-mile-per-hour fastball. But what does kind of make me wonder, and I'm still trying to get to the bottom of this, is were there any conversations with the Dodgers and Walker Buehler about a possible return? Because the fact that they did bring back a former Dodger that's going to be plugged into the bullpen as an insurance piece, it makes you wonder if there was any conversations there. Because the thing that surprised me about Walker Buehler was that he didn't get any offers to be a starting pitcher anywhere else. And I assumed that since Buehler was on that 1-year, $21 million deal, that he would want to go anywhere, like postseason team, non-postseason team, just to get a handful of starts to where he could go back into free agency and get another bet on yourself deal, maybe $10 million, things like that. But instead, he goes to the Phillies, and the Phillies are going to use him out of the bullpen because even though the Phillies have lost Zach Wheeler, they're not going to be desperate to throw Walker Buehler in there as a starter. So now we're talking Walker Buehler embracing a role out of the pen, a role that last year led to him getting the final out of the World Series. So, I mean, is there anyone out there that would rather have Kirby Yates than Walker Buehler coming out of the bullpen? I don't think so, right? So, yeah, it just kind of makes you wonder because if Buehler maybe was like, okay, the Dodgers aren't going to feature me out of the pen, or hey, they didn't bring me back, which clearly was the right decision. Was there any type of, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see if anything comes out between the Dodgers and their pursuit of Walker Buehler, because I certainly think that out of the bullpen, it would have made some sense, especially as a depth piece. But all right, guys, couple more takeaways, and we're going to head to the 7th inning stretch. And some of the things I did like from the main thing I liked from last month, and this is my most positive take. My most positive take is this Dodgers starting rotation is really starting to turn into the Murderers rotation, where it is a rotation that's filled with aces. They've got more aces than a deck of cards. And the biggest statistical takeaway that you can feel good about from August is that the Dodgers starters, they average 5.5 starter pitched in a game to just qualify for a win, right? Going 5 innings and having the lead. So that tells you that. Doesn't tell you how good they were, but it tells you that. So that was big. And also, too, the strikeout rate was up. A 28.1% strikeout rate in August. That was first in Major League Baseball for the Dodgers starters. Also, 21.5% strikeout minus walk rate. That was tops in the sport. So the Dodgers starting rotation is elite. Last year, there were doubts. Even when Yamamoto was good, he had to pitch on extra rest. Jack Flaherty, he had one good game, and they had one game where he was terrible. Walker Buehler found it late, but really they won the World Series with 2.5 starters. And now, this year, you've got one of the best rotations, if not the best rotation, heading into the postseason potentially. So that's why I still am very bullish about this team. The best starter in August, my pitcher of the month, this was tough. Clayton Kershaw, a 1.88 ERA. He won all 5 of his starts. Anytime things weren't going right, they kind of took him out of the game. But you know what? As great as Kershaw was, as much of a Christian I am, a devout Christian, I got to give it to Yoshinobu Yamamoto. Yamamoto the MVP, along with Shohei Ohtani on this team, led the team with 37 2/3 innings of work. He had 44 strikeouts, and he has gone 7 games this year where he's pitched 7 innings. I mean, that is incredible length for modern day baseball. And like I said, this entire rotation, the only Dodgers starting pitcher of all the Dodgers starters in the month of August, the only starter that had an ERA north of 3.52 was Shohei Ohtani. And if you've been watching these games and these starts, you know that Shohei Ohtani flashed some brilliance at times. Shohei had a 5.71 ERA in 17 2/3 innings, but also had 27 strikeouts. Had a rough outing in Anaheim, rough one in Colorado, but I still believe in Shohei as an absolutely elite starting pitcher as far as overall stuff. So that is a massive, massive takeaway there. And the main thing I didn't like was the offense, of course. The offense averaged 4.7 runs per game during the month. That was 13th in Major League Baseball. That's right around league average. You only had Max Muncy for 8 games. In those 8 games, you averaged 5.6 runs per game. So you're going to get guys back. You're going to get a better offensive showing when they're more locked in. So you feel good about that. But guys, those are my 10 takeaways for the week. And now it's your time to shine. Give us all your thoughts, comments, and questions. We're going to give out a comment of the show next on the 7th inning stretch.